It's that time again, right? Kick out the old, welcome the new. Make your New Year's resolutions now. Go!
Well, hello again there, friends in podcast land, and welcome to episode 139 of There's Still Time, the AFTN podcast. And Happy New Year, everybody! I'm your host, Michael McCall, and for this first podcast of 2016, we thought we would just bring you something light-hearted, a little bit of fun, a little bit chaotic, a lot of editing required. It's our special 30 Seconds to Mars game show. I'm joined by my usual co-host Steve Pander, and taking part in this New Year's episode is AFTN writer Jay Duke, and Curva collective Zachary Meisenheimer and Stephen Lamothe. We recorded this episode before Christmas, so some of the new signings like Kudo and the re-signing of Christian Teixeira is not mentioned in it, and there'll be some other things mentioned for players that have maybe moved elsewhere. But without further ado, it's time to play, for the first time in 2016, 30 Seconds to Mars.
I need a Mars bar, a rage bar to help me through the day. I need a Mars bar, a tattoo bar. It helps me, makes me rugged and play. 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 Work, rest, and play.
And as you heard, we're joined by Slamo, Jay Duke and Zachary Meisenheimer to play this special 30 Seconds to Mars. And there's going to be two prizes up for grabs for the winner. We're going to give the famous Mars bar, but as a special prize, the winner is also going to get a 1974 copy of the Scorcher Annual. So we're going to have 9 questions for everyone. You're going to have 30 seconds each to answer them. You'll get dings for what we feel is the best answers that you're giving. We'll hopefully count the scores up correctly this time. And we'll take turn around and going first. Everyone will get to start first 3 times. Everyone will get to go last 3 times. And it doesn't matter if someone said something before, it's okay to repeat. So let's play 30 Seconds to Mars. So we're going to kick things off with Zach for question number 1.
So Zach, obviously quite a few additions last year. We rolled quite a few people over. Who, in your opinion, was the best addition?
And your 30 seconds starts now.
I'm going to go with Tim Parker. And the reason we're saying Tim Parker is because it showed that we did great scouting. And it showed that we can use the draft in an appropriate and a meaningful way. It was great to see him progress throughout the year. He didn't walk into the first team, but he moved forward and progressed throughout the year. He did well in USL, showed that he proved himself in USL and progressed into the first team. He then also filled in... What is that?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Can we have a visual on that?
No.
What's the point of that?
I didn't say my most important points.
Well, you have 6 points scored,
All right.
so you're in the lead.
So, Slamo, same question. Your Best addition for this club this year.
Do I get a count in? Or
Yeah, starting now.
I'm going to go with Christian Teixeira because he brought a different dynamic to the team. He's kind of a mirror image for Kakuta to come in and look at. He brings a toughness despite his size, probably our best player in the box, which is a bit shocking. I think Parker was a surprise and a great addition, but Teixeira brought an element that we didn't have necessarily, whereas Parker kind of filled out the role that we had. So I'm going to just say Christian Teixeira. Is that still? Look at that reservation.
And 6 points.
Jeez, I could have added, man. I was like, I had
You
the
had 2
times in my
seconds.
head. I could have 2 more seconds. I should have spit something out.
Yeah, see, I went too slow and you went too
Yeah.
But 6 points for you as well, so we're tied. So, Jay, it's a chance for you to jump into the lead here. And your 30 seconds starts now.
I've got to say Tim Parker. The reason being is that both Teixeira and Parker had fantastic years, but Teixeira, we're still not even sure if he's going to be back this year. Whereas Parker is ours. He's a young guy. He looks like a player who can play beside Kendall Waston for a long time to come. He is the perfect partner because it's that calm, cool, collected type of center back. He's shown he can help out in attacks. He can score goals. He's so calm for his age, and he's been able to step right in when he had a whole bunch of other competition around him and take over that spot.
8 points from Jay.
What was that last one late? What was that all about?
Okay.
It was mid-sentence. You get mid-sentence.
It's the
The biggest one we missed on my list was he scored against Seattle.
Yeah,
Oh, if you'd said that, you would have
would've
got
been 3.
a double. But
Oh, just a double. That's a triple.
8 points for Jay. So Jay is in the lead.
Okay, so
We're now going to move on to question
number 2. Slamo starts off this round. Slamo, your most disappointing addition for this season. We've given you a couple suggestions: Flores, Rodriguez, Earnshaw, or is there another person that turn? Your 30 seconds starts now.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Rodriguez because I remember early in training watching him and he first off, he made me forget Johnny Leveron, which, wasn't easy to do. And he looked like he had so much skill. And even at the first minutes he got in MLS, he looked pretty solid. Then it went so far downhill from there. He messed up, got injured, started making errors, went to USL Pro, couldn't even stand out there, and ended up, I guess, probably being one of the biggest flops that we've had for foreign signings. So taking an international spot and just not fitting in and not being able to outseed Kaw, which is what I was really hoping he'd do.
Well, you've scored 8 points there, Slamo, and you would have scored another point, except...
Did I say franchise?
No. But yeah, you would have got another point there, Slamo, if you hadn't said that he was the worst international signing.
Forgot about that. Yeah,
family friend. So you're now up to 14 points. So Jay, you need to score 7 to retake your lead.
So Jay, same question: most disappointing addition this season by Rubble. Starting right now.
I'm going to go off board and say Rivero. And this is because where is the one spot that we needed the most help this year? It was scoring goals. And we didn't get that. And we had to play him because we had the lack of everything else. I agree that Rodriguez was a huge disappointment because I also saw him taking over for Kaw. But Kaw played well and Parker played even better than we expected. So the most disappointing that we need out of a DP player is to be that X factor, and Rivero wasn't it.
And you've moved to 13 points there, Jay, because you were just waffling about players that were good.
Plus, you take Rivera out of the team. Where does that leave us?
That's what he said. That was his whole point.
What was that?
My point was that if we had
we needed more.
So I guess my 30 seconds was not very well used. We needed more out of him. Should we actually have been a decent team?
Why are you giving him?
But he did say that there was nobody that he had to stay in because there was nobody
Zach,
that could do it.
Now that you've taken time and thought about this, your most disappointing player this year, starting now.
It has to be Diego Rodriguez. One, because we thought, he's going to be our number 2 center back, and he ended up number 5 or 6. He showed great promise.
He ended up number 6.
Whatever.
Sorry.
He was great in preseason. Suffered an injury. So then he was out of the team. Then he did something that Aurelian Cullen that we all would like to do in one way or another, or maybe punch, it would be better, but helped us get that road win. Dropped the USL, was poor in USL with some poor players around him, and he basically lost his morale, and that was the end of it. And he took him an international spot.
Yeah.
I think you should get minus points for not knowing how many center backs we had on our roster.
Yeah. Unless, are you actually saying, though, that Christian Teixeira was a better centre back than Diego Rodriguez? Sure. I think he's better in the air and on the ground.
He looks so like such a.
I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Like Diego, I was so excited.
I know you. I know you hate criticizing players, and
well, going to that, that's the next question.
Yeah,
let's start with that.
Just before we get to that,
sure.
just a quick thing about Rodriguez. I was at training when he had just come back from injury, and he'd fought back, and then he broke down in training, and then he literally broke down. He was in floods of tears as he got carried away, and it was horrible.
No,
See,
even
you just so felt for the guy.
after he was even suspended. You could just tell the demeanor and everything. Like he was upset even after that. Like he was disappointed that he made such a stupid thing. I guess he thought he'd get away with it because it was away from the ball, but he grabbed balls.
It looked not too bad.
Well, I think where he was playing as well, they probably don't have all those cameras.
Well, that's what he
showing
said,
things
right?
all
That's
over
why
again.
it almost made me like him more. They
Yeah.
asked him, "What did you learn about MLS or something?" He said, "There's cameras everywhere." That was awesome. That was like a quote of the year.
Yeah, and it's
Seriously, how many players in the league wouldn't want to punch Aurelian Cullen? Once.
I still would have signed him ahead of Car, but anyway, let's move on to question number 3. And by the way, Zach, you moved up to 14 there, so you're in a tie with Slamo. Jay just coming from behind now with 13.
So Jay,
With Will Johnson.
chance to. Okay, let's do.
Definitely needs a big Willie to come from behind.
So Jay, chance to make up some points here. Of the players who were on the 2014 squad, which player do you feel failed to take that next step? There are quite a few options. Who do you think, whether it was injury, whether it was playing time, whatever it was, who failed? Your 30 seconds starts now.
The easy answer would be Maddox because he's failed to really take the opportunities when there have been so many around him. But the guy that I'm most disappointed with is Russell Tybert because he's a player who has been in our team for so long and has failed to ever. He's failed to be given all these opportunities playing beside Laba. He's had the opportunities as an attacker and has never been able to actually take those abilities from his defensive role, which is what we so much need.
And just for good measure, I was going to do this for good measure.
yes, that's like 17 dings, I think. That's
I thought I hit the buzzer twice just in case you didn't hear it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not being biased here, but
You're totally
Jay
biased.
has moved up to 120. No, he's moved up to 22 points.
That's good.
It's 9.
9, highest so far in the round. So that's a lesson for you all. If you criticise a Canadian player, you're going to get more points here.
Okay, so Zach,
And Maddox at the same time.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a double whammy.
I know,
If
right?
you'd thrown Gershon, you'd have broke this.
So Zach, same question to you. I know this is difficult for you, but which player you just failed, whether it's injuries, whatever, failed to take that next step? Starts now.
I'm going to say the player that failed to take the next step in our club was Caleb Clark. And I'm going to say Caleb Clark because he's a residency product. A residency product who went away, had a European experience that was very positive, came back and wasn't able to push into the first team. He was a player who, in a position where we needed help, and obviously the coaching staff felt that he couldn't provide it. He scored a number of goals, but he didn't dominate in USL the way we thought he might.
And that takes you up to 20.
Not enough anti-Canadian.
No, yeah, you were slow. You're just going out. And he's Canadian. Bing! I'm on it.
Slamos, wrapping up this round, the question to you, starting now.
Yeah, I'm going to say Tybert because Michael dings for Tybert, but then I'm going to say Morales because Because he was everybody said wait till next year. He's played 18 months in a row. He needs a bit of rest. He's going to be such a superstar. And to me, he took a step backwards. He didn't look as good as he did last year. And he's pretty much Canadian because he's been here. Oh, but I mean, honestly, he didn't take that step up and bring us. I mean, he could have. I thought he would team up better with Rivero, and there wasn't that magic chemistry at all that we really saw. He made some nice cross passes to Mane, but really he didn't show as much as I was hoping.
41 points.
Oh, yeah, you've got a premature horn going here.
Just going off there because I totally agree with that. I think that's a big thing. Morales, big disappointment, especially considering where he was last year.
Yeah.
And can I say I love Caleb Clark? I love him.
And
He's a superstar.
That's
I
a
want to
-1
say
now.
that I could watch Pedro sprays balls all day long.
With Will Johnson.
Oh, imagine
In
them
the
spraying the
same
balls
center,
together.
That
That would just be
If
like
you
bliss.
and if you
Pedro
could even
Spray's
bring Terry
balls to
Dunfield
Will
back
Johnson.
into the midfield.
Yeah, Terry Dunfield back.
If you had Big Willie and Big Willie, I guess, and is both of their nicknames.
And if you had Alex Morgan up front, balls sprayed everywhere. At least in the AFTN household. But
That's going to get edited out, right?
No.
No, that's pretty.
This is New Year's.
Yes, this is the new.
everybody's
It's a
hungover.
new year. It's a new day, like the wrestling. Got unicorn horns.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, if you've not caught up with WWE recently, New
The what?
Day, WWE, New Day, they come out and they say that the unicorns, and they do this with their fingers for having unicorn horns. Then they brought out a hoodie that's got a unicorn horn on it, and then Monday on Raw they came out with actual glowing unicorn horns. Superb.
you watch darts and WWE?
Yeah, I've only gotten back into WWE because of the Wyatt family, who you could be a part of. Like,
Oh,
Zach,
they are very impressive.
yeah,
The Wyatt
you
family, I
and
guarantee
Aaron
that.
Campbell could be in the Wyatt family.
Yeah, no thank you.
They're great.
I don't even know what that is, but I'm saying no thank you.
Follow the buzzards. Anyway, let's move on.
This is riveting podcast.
Yeah.
This is not going to stay in the
Was
box.
this
Especially with
actually-
Michael.
No, this is it's the new anything goes for the New Year's Day special. We're going to ring in the bells.
Okay,
And just to point out, Slambo's now in the lead with 23 points.
so next question, Zach
I
will
got
start
one
out.
just for saying Pedro was practically Canadian.
So we got now Zach starting out this round. Zach, the most promising youth player that you feel will maybe not take a huge step next year, but still is progressing at a good pace. Starting now.
If you mention anyone in the under 14s, you're going to get bonus points.
Starting your 30 seconds starts now.
And you could probably make up a name because I don't know who.
Hey, wait,
Can you stop interrupting his 30 seconds? Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna.
your 30 seconds starts now.
I'm gonna have to say Marco Bustos. Again, a good Manitoba boy from Canada who made his way through the residency, has a first team contract. Got into a few minutes this year, but most importantly, he really developed in the USL this year. When he was healthy and playing those matches, it was a joy to see him making his imprint on the game and dominating in some matches and scoring some incredible goals. Where I joke with him sometimes, like, okay, you're going on in today's game, I want to see you chip. We want to see you score a chip goal. And he scored against Seattle, a brace.
9 points for you there, Zach. That's the joint highest so far in the round. And talking about a Canadian player and scoring 9 points, I feel that's pretty good. So you're now in the lead with 29.
Slamo, your 30 seconds for this question. Most promising youth player. You ready?
I'm ready.
Starts now.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Bustos too because I thought he changed the pace of the game in USL Pro, and I don't think a lot of Canadians have ever done that. So he's, like Zach said, stamping his imprint on it. I thought he was able to control the middle of the field against bigger, stronger players. I think he did well when he went outside with the ball. He was always on attack. He defended well. So I think he shows a lot of the skill that Mane shows and defends as well, which I think Mane did better later on, but Bustos did throughout the season. And I think just the importance of stamping his impact on the game. I thought that was the biggest thing for him.
I had a little bit of buzzer problems there because the thing above that beep says silence, and I keep hitting that. So if you don't hear dings, that's why. But anyway, you scored 9 in that round to maintain your lead just now on 32. So you've all scored 9 now. 9. It's like bedtime in the Meisenheimer household.
So Jay, rounding up this round, most promising youth players. 30 seconds starts now.
I agree. It's got to be Bustos, and I know it's not exciting, but the reason is that so often in Canada, especially, we have troubles finding those types of creative players. He's so unique as a guy who can create, who can hold the ball, and he gets attacks. He gets into the box. He can score goals. He can set up. Even the question has always been about physicality. Is he going to be able to play in a bigger league? He showed he can do that in USL. He showed he can do that against Seattle in the Champions League game as well, where he was the best player.
And 8 points for Jay there, taking him up to 30.
Yeah, it's boring when we all agree, but it's hard to disagree, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Keane's would have been
He would have been a good answer too, but I think we all hit on that. Marco just being the Canadian and having that sort of style to his game and flair. We don't see that for Canadians, right?
One player that you guys had mentioned, Kukuda, obviously he was like one of their top players this year, especially down the road. And that 20 minutes he played to start off the second leg, he was dominating that one. Yeah. And I think he has improved a little bit in passing the ball into the box. He's not always looking to score.
But despite his age, who here thinks of him as a youth player?
No, not a youth player, but he is a young player at this point still.
Is he 20 now?
20 or something like that. I just thought that he deserved a little bit of thing there.
Well, you guys are ready to throw away players when they're 21 and 23, like Gersh.
Who? Yeah. You guys. It's just one guy over here.
Gersh is officially that age, but... So at the end of round 4, the scores are: in third place is Zach with 29 points. Just ahead of him in second is Jay with 30, and storming out in the lead, looking for this Scorcher annual, is Slamo with 32 points.
The fix is in. Don't you win every time? I don't know.
You could call it a fix, or you could call it talent.
Talent, yeah.
Never had that.
So I finished third once.
So let's move on to question number 5.
So guys, obviously the Portland, we've talked a lot about that loss against Portland in the second round. Other than that game.
Other
than that game, see, throw a wrench in there. Other than that game, because that was a game where it was a butthurt game. So other than that game, which loss really hurt? Like one of those home games early in the season, one of those games down the stretch that really you thought they should have won. Which game hurt you most? Slamo, you're going to be starting off with this one.
Okay. So now you're taking away my Portland, so I'm going to go with the Montreal away where we played the mixed bag roster, and because that was a game that I thought we had our opportunity to set a tone for the season, and throwing that lineup out and just looking so terrible. The points were there for the taking. It was on the road. We had good road record, good road form at that point, and it kind of changed, I think, after that. I don't know what our road points were, but it seems like we weren't the road team we were before that. So, and it's the impact. It's, to me, the impact are still in that level with Portland, where Seattle is like a little bit off because of our USL days. So, honestly, I hate Montreal more than I hate Seattle.
Yeah,
Which I do as well.
Yeah. That's the 2-1 loss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game. I'm sorry we talked about. I still remember that game. I think we brought on Pedro to replace Gersh, maybe.
Yeah.
And so we were playing with one. He scored the free kick goal. Was it? Scored the free kick goal, and then we went for it, and they scored their equalizer where we only had the one holding midfielder, and Matty got sucked over to the side of the field. And there was this giant hole, and they just won the ball, played into that hole, and scored the goal. It was painful.
It was emotionally hurtful. Yeah.
You always got to play the hole.
And there is a bonus. There's bonus points
if we had
up
Will
for grabs.
Johnson, we wouldn't have that hole. He would fill that hole.
Big Willie would fill that hole.
Pedro would be spraying the balls. Willie would be filling the hole.
So Jay, the hurt.
The hole that hurt the most?
Oh my goodness.
Jay, the loss that hurt the most for you this season. 30 seconds starts now.
The opening one of the season was tough because of how it ended, but the performance was so good that I'm not picking that one. What I'm picking is the 2-0 loss at home to the Sounders in May, when Barrett scored right at the beginning of the game. The Whitecaps had been hot. They were playing for, I believe, tops in the league. I think that was a Supporters Shield leading game if we had won at the time. And we came out, and not only did we concede right away, and I know this is probably partially because we did, but the Whitecaps looked so flat the entire game.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think that was a game where they had no Dempsey, they had no
they
Martins
and
up top.
yeah, Barrett-
we lost to Barrett.
Yeah.
Barrett played and just absolutely hammered us, and we looked like we weren't even interested in playing.
No Alonso. They had none of their stars, eh?
Yeah.
That was 7 points to
There was
Jay.
a lot of people missing.
7 points to Jay there. Slamo actually scored 8 the last round, which we forgot to mention, or I did.
Zach, your answer to that question, your 30 seconds starts.
It has to be 3-0 Seattle home in the Cascadia Cup finale. We came out flat from what I remember, and did not have a great first half, including Ivan Schitz scoring the match-winning opening goal. Obafem Martins and Clint Dempsey both got 2 points, and it looked like we were devoid of ideas and had nothing that game. It was embarrassing and frustrating, and on top of that, we had to hand the Cascadia Cup to the Emerald City supporters that day, which was the most painful part.
That was painful, but the thing that made it less hurtful was that it was almost expected at that point. I think, I didn't
Sorry,
really
losing 3-0 to Seattle
not 3-0 necessarily, but I don't remember having a whole bunch of confidence walking in there thinking we're gonna take them. It just kind of seemed like we were destined to lose that.
So 8 points for Zach there. My buzzer wasn't working for part of that, but you got 8 points. You're up to 37, tied with Jay now for second. Slamo in the lead with 40. So now question 6, and I believe
Jay starts off this round.
Yeah, it's question 6.
Yes, and Jay.
It's only question
No,
6.
yeah, Jay. It's question 6. What are some of the positive moments or memories you have? It could be on the pitch, it could be off the pitch. Like what tickled your fancy this year? 30 seconds starts now.
I love to see the development of the club when it came to a lot of the younger players coming in, the development of guys like Parker coming out of nowhere, the fact that we were so good defensively again. But it all culminated when the Whitecaps were able to win the Voyageurs Cup. And they won it in such exciting fashion. I know it was, how everything played out. It's been such a big hole for the Whitecaps that they haven't been able to fill, and finally they were able to do it and get the monkey off their back. You could see them going on and winning that competition again, years to follow, because of what they did this year.
He gets a ding for
Hold to fill.
Yeah.
Hold to fill.
Hold to fill and monkeys off back.
Monkey.
Like,
10? Is that 10?
That's 10. That's just 2 of my favourite phrases thrown in there.
Oh my goodness.
47 points.
I'm learning how to play to the crowd. That's
Yeah.
what you got to do. You don't have to be smart. You just have to be.
You gotta
as
know your
dumb as he
audience,
is.
man.
Yeah.
Know your audience.
Zach,
Okay, well, he took
your 30
mine,
seconds starts now.
Okay. Start it again.
Okay.
Is that an
Your
option?
30 seconds.
I don't want to take your answer.
I haven't heard a ding in 10. Can we start over?
I don't want to take your answer, but I'm gonna guess it was seeing Abby Wambach lift the Women's World Cup in July. Am I right? Did I get a ding for you? No, okay then.
Your 30 seconds starts now.
Without a doubt, it's winning the Voyageurs Cup. The many years of wait, the overall, how we won it this year, beating Edmonton, the snow game, Paulo Tornaghi leading the Humba in Edmonton, and then going to Montreal and putting in a good performance where we were up 2-0, and then even though we let in 2 goals, still coming back and winning at home. Tim Parker scoring, Octavio Rivera getting an awkward winner, but then having Gersh and the guys bring the cup and celebrating with them is the best thing.
10 points for you as well, without playing to the crowd. Just think what you could have got if you played to the crowd.
Slavo, you're going to finish off this round. Positive moments or memories on or off the pitch.
Okay, so I'm going to actually go to That's it.
That's it.
Can I start over?
You're too far in the lead.
Oh, no points. He's way behind me.
I'll start that over again.
Okay.
Slamo, so to round out this round. Slamo, to end this round, your positive memories of the season.
Okay, I'm going to go the last game of the season, and not the game, but before the game. The 2 hours leading up to the game, the march was awesome. There were flares and smoke. Marius getting people to come early, the gates opening early, actually having 16,000 people there half an hour before a game instead of 10 minutes after. That was awesome, the whole experience. I think it was the only time this season where I thought this is awesome, and I looked around and Abby Wambach wasn't there, and I thought this is even more awesome. But to me, that was the most positive moment because it gave me hope for the future, the supporter culture in the city.
Oh,
I think you lost your ding there.
there's a bit too many things going on. That was 8 points, taking you to 48.
48.
Yep, 1 point lead for you now. So after round 6, 2/3 of the way through of what I did tell these guys was going to be a 10 or 15 minute podcast, tied for second, Zach and Jay on 47, and 1 point in the lead is Slamo. It's anyone's to take.
So, next question. Zach will be starting out this round. Zach, your biggest disappointment of the season overall. Start 30 seconds starting now.
I think aside from obviously not winning the Supporter Shield and the Cascadia Cup and the MLS Cup, my biggest disappointment was whatever you want to call it. Don't buy that Scarfgate from earlier in this year, because it was it brought to light a lot of the brokenness in the relationship between our front office and the supporters. Brokenness that's not always there, and there's a lot of good things happening behind the scenes and a lot of good people doing a lot of hard work. But it was a time where, again, publicly, those entrusted to be stewards of our club misunderstood what supporter culture is and how to deal with supporters.
And just to clear up for anyone that's listening that's not sure, the scarf you're talking about, it was the gay pride scarf?
It was the Kings of Cascadia.
Oh,
Cascadia
okay,
Cup
right.
scarf.
I wasn't sure if
So not for points, but it was
No,
just...
because you're 30 seconds.
Yeah, my 30 seconds up. But, it was really frustrating when you have all these things going on, and some of those things are misrepresented publicly, and then it wasn't the best for our diverse supporter community either. There was a lot of frustration and misunderstanding, and there was some uniting, and then there was some dividing that came through it, and so it was not
amongst the supporters.
Amongst the supporters, yes, and yeah,
Created a lot of holes for the supporters.
you guys. No, it. I mean, there's a lot of good things in our relationship with the front office, but there's obviously a lot of always room to improve, and so you never know. You never know what's going to happen next year. Maybe next year will be even better.
A better scarf.
Better scarf.
Slamo, question for you.
What is it again? I can't remember.
Oh, you
the
scored 7 points.
Biggest disappointment
Biggest disappointment. Okay.
of the overall season. It doesn't have to be a certain game. It doesn't have to be anything like that. 30 seconds starting now.
Okay, I'm going to say the lack of goals. Robo said his goal was to set, I don't remember how many, 25 more goals. And I think, what did we get, 2 or 3 more goals in the previous year? Not many. So I thought I was expecting more of an exciting season and that kind of... Can we start over? I haven't got a single thing. I was expecting more of an exciting season from the preseason that Robo was talking about, and Rivero started off well. We got all those goals at the start, and then it just dried up. And there was no plan to kind of create those goals as the season went on. There, Teixeira seemed to be maybe another step in that direction, but then it dried up again. We all know how it ended.
Why do you keep losing your dings?
It's because I'm seeing what else is here, and then I scroll down.
I was going to start yelling Abby Wambach.
I think you scored 7. We'll just say you scored 7 because it keeps it tight. So that keeps you in the lead at 55. I like it tight.
So Jay's going to finish up this round. Biggest disappointment for you overall this season?
Mine's almost going to be an addendum to that. I agree that it was the goals, but it was also the goals towards the end of the year when we got into the playoff game that we worked so hard for, that big home playoff game. And even before that, the away game in Portland, and you go into it and you play such a negative approach to the game. The problem was throughout the entire year, Robinson had failed to create different ways for the club to be creative. And he stuck to the same tactical approach. And I'm not one to get stuck on the numbers, but in the end, we still had the two defensive midfielders set up and failed to ever generate anything different.
Yeah.
8 points for Jay, taking him into joint lead at 55. Woo, woo, woo. So a bit of work for you to do here, Zach. I know you're desperate for this Mars bar.
So Jay's gonna. No, Slamo's gonna start off with this question.
The penultimate question.
Yes.
Holy moly.
Slamo, which current player on this roster do you feel will take a big step next year?
Any age.
Any place on the team.
Okay.
30 seconds starting now.
Well, I'm going to go with Rivero, I think, on this one, because I think it takes a bit of time to adjust. I think he created a lot of scoring chances that were just pathetic finish, but I think he's going to finish a few more of those. And you think even if he finishes 5 more of those, that's 15 goals. I think he's going to have a bit more chemistry with the players around him, and we're going to see a totally different player, and we'll forget that he was a wasted DP spot this year, and everybody will be rejoicing and saying, thank God he's not Abby Wambach.
You're taking it a little too far, Slamo.
9 points.
I didn't think I needed the 5 that bad.
64.
You'll edit that out.
Yeah, and this is going to take a little bit of editing. I was going to say, we'll quickly work out what we're talking about.
Oh man.
Okay.
Or beep, beep.
So Jay, you're second on this. Which current player do you think will take a big step next year? Any age, starting now.
I agree. It's Octavio Rivero. Reason being is he showed a lot of talent that does translate well into MLS. He almost reminds me a little bit of Fernandez last year in that he was good at times and wasn't great at times, but you could see that there's enough there that he can excel at this level. I think even more so for Rivero, and I think that they're obviously gonna keep him, and I think they're going to try and play to his strengths a little bit more and give him some more support up front, because he's obviously not the type of guy who can just turn on a defender and create his own chance, but with a better setup around him, he'll be able to do that.
And 10 points for Jay, taking him into the lead with 65. Again, there's bonus points if you say the right player, Zach.
Zach, you're up. 30 seconds starting now.
I'm going to agree. It's Octavio Rivero. Because there is room for improvement. He had a great year. His hold-up play is key. I think we're going to see more of a second striker option with him next year, and the chemistry is going to be better with him and Morales and others in the attack. He's going to score more goals. He's going to set up more goals. People are going to score on the setups that he provides for them. The players are better their second year in MLS, and I think, and he's Uruguayan.
I don't know why I did that. You're not getting a point for that. That was just an automatic. Like, I can't give you a point for saying he's Uruguayan.
You do with the Canadian. He's not. Oh, he's Canadian.
Well, you said he's not Canadian.
Oh, that he's Uruguayan means he's not Canadian.
I don't like Uruguay. After the 1986 World Cup, when they put out Scotland and kicked us off the park, I can't give you a point for Uruguay. But 9 points, you're doing okay. So the bonus answer in that round would have been if you had said Christian Teixeira, because at his height, every stair is a big step for him.
Oh, how long have you been waiting to bring that joke out?
I think we'll get exactly what we got from Teixeira, only for 10 more games.
And then what? He goes to Europe, like Mane? And
No, I mean 10 more games in the season. Not because he only played. How many games did he play? 20.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I
which
do
would be fantastic.
31.
That would mean that would be a fantastic attacking midfielder, wide player.
I do have concerns about Rivero in that at his last 3 clubs he started off like a house on fire, and then 4 clubs include us now, and then it all drops off.
Petered up.
Yeah, but
it's like,
but his last club he was there for 1 season.
but he's still.
And he only scored 10 and 16.
You just think
they're all
it's hard to say because you could have said the same for Jarju, right? But you just think if he finishes one of those and then the cocked feathers go up.
Well,
So should we bring Jarju back for his second
give him
season?
his chance.
with Jarju, I heard that he was, as soon as he got off the
lit it
plane,
up.
he
Got off
wanted to
the
go
plane.
back. He wanted to go back
I do not
home.
want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he get off at Abbotsford Airport by mistake?
Okay, final question.
Yep.
You want to give us an update on the standings?
In third place going into this last round, but you have the advantage of going last. Oh no, you don't. You have the
Second
advantage
last,
of going
yeah.
second last. That's not an advantage. You've got no advantage, Zach. You're on 63
screwed.
points. In second place, with the advantage of going last on 64 points, is Slamo, and in the lead with 65 points,
Top dog.
J Duke.
It's okay. I've screwed it up every time so far. Screw it up again.
I've just thought of something fun we could have done, but it's a bit late unless we want to re-record this. But it's the only thing we want to do. Next time we do this, I'm going to give you all a joker. So for one of the questions, you can play your joker and get double points.
Oh, that is nice. That's nice.
That would have been perfect for this.
Yeah,
Give me my
Okay.
Joker.
Except you need to do it after.
you can all do it in this round now.
Okay, so Jay, final question for you. You're going to start off this round. Through trade, through draft, through the many drafts there are, which current MLS player would you want on the Caps next year? Has to be realistic.
Could be an impact player. doesn't have
Impact
to
player doesn't have to
Be.
be.
Could be a good-looking guy.
You want a guy from Montreal here?
Your 30 seconds starts now.
I know you're wanting me to say Justin Mapp, but I'm not gonna say Justin Mapp. I'm gonna say Will Bruin. Reason I'm gonna say Will Bruin is he's actually available right now. He's exactly what we need. He is the player who is an MLS veteran who can put the ball in the net. He's a physical player. And he's not going to be your everyday starter. So he might not be the guy who has the biggest impact on the team. He'll come at a reasonable price. We know what we're going to get. And the real true impact players are where we want to go abroad and try and hit a home run with.
And, okay, so that's quite a few answers, things I heard there during that one.
Yeah, again, I got a little bit.
I think that was the
confused
right
with
answer.
things, but yeah,
It seemed like...
10 points for Jay there. Obviously, listen to our podcasts and knows. Justin Mapp was an interesting one because I thought you were going to say Mauro Rosales, but
Oh no, I thought you wanted me to say Justin Mapp.
no. But
Yeah, I just gave them an idea now.
Justin Mapp was someone that I meant to talk about when we did our podcast talking about players that were available, and I forgot.
But
to
he's
mention
too. If you bring it to Chera and you have Kakuta, it's kind of like.
Well, you bring him off
Hey,
the bench.
wait for your 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Don't be
No, I don't have a good. I
Will,
lost.
Will Bruin, of course, has signed a new contract with Houston, but that doesn't
Doesn't mean he's
anything.
going to be there,
Yeah.
That just means that he's
I
going to...
thought you were gonna say Justin Mapp because he has almost similar hairstyle to you.
I don't think that would get you a ding.
I'm more like Darren Martix's here.
So, Zach...
Seriously, I do not have a good answer.
Well, let's have a silence
Oh,
for
well,
30
I get
seconds.
kind of screwed in.
no, I don't. This is for
So,
fun.
Zach...
No, it's not.
Oh, it's for Mars. It's for Mars and for fun.
You need 12 to tie J and go to the bonus question.
So, MLS player you'd want on the Caps next year, Zach, starting...
Wait, okay.
Your 30 seconds starts now.
This might be a little bit unrealistic, but if we could turn back time, I wouldn't mind having Darlington Nagbe as a part of the Vancouver Whitecaps. He's an attacking player with pace, with technical ability, can play kind of a cross attacking midfield, left, right, center. He would bring something different that we don't have. He would either take a starting role or would provide a depth to our squad that we don't have. He's a U.S. men's national team player. He's young. He's on a decent wage. He has played for a rival, but it's Portland, so it's not Seattle.
Wait, you
See again,
you
the
like
whole Portland.
you
is
like the fact he's a U.S. men's national? You're supporting the U.S. men's team?
I'm just saying.
Not
These are things not for me. But these are things that
At least he's not wearing a track.
I knew he would ding. I knew he would ding for it.
Well,
okay?
no, it's domestic. I thought you were meaning that you wouldn't take up an international
Oh,
roster
whatever.
spot. Anyway,
Okay.
you got 11 points there, which takes you to 74, just one behind Jay, so you are not winning.
Nagbe's a good choice, man.
Yeah, that is good.
I don't really want him here.
If
But
I would have
what
thought
that
about that
says.
first, I probably would have said that.
Oh, if it's a tie, we can
Okay.
ask that. Okay.
Please no ties. Just
Yeah,
finish me off.
how much is he?
11 points? I haven't
Okay.
got 11 points ever.
Yeah, 11 points needed for Slamo here to tie Jay, 12 to win. Can he do it?
Slamo, your 30 seconds. Slamo, your 30 seconds for this final question starts now.
I'm going to go obvious with Will Johnson because he's the box-to-box midfielder that would open up the whole midfield for us and create a whole different level of attack that we haven't had this year. I think the jokes alone on the podcast would be hysterical. He could fill all sorts of holes, and he would, stop a lot of cracks. And probably, you got Big Willie out there running around, and Pedro spraying his balls all over the place. It would be endless entertainment. It could be the greatest season in the history of MLS. But seriously, I think Will Johnson would make the team that much better.
I'm sorry, Jay. he pushed the right buttons.
Yeah. That was the one. I thought you guys were both going to say that.
I grew up watching Carry On films, which, if no one knows what they are, they're just full of double entendres. And
Double what?
Double entendres.
He's Will Johnson. Come on.
13 points. As much as I hate the guy, 13 points takes Slamo. Every 13 points for Slamo. We have a winner. So the final scores in third place with 74 points, Zachary Meisenheimer.
74, baby. What did all be?
At Zachary AM on Twitter. Runner up.
Yeah, perennial bridesmaid.
Never a bride.
He's the playboy.
75 points. J_Duke on Twitter. And the winner with 77 points. And the winner of this 2016 Mars Bar and 1974 Scorcher Annual, which you'll like when you see it.
Oh, thank you.
It's got little cartoons about kids playing football and
awesome.
Pictures of Billy Bremner and 1974 year of the Caps being formed. Yeah, you'll love it. It's Slamo at SS Slamo on Twitter. Congratulations and thanks for playing, guys. And thanks to everyone for listening to this special New Year's Day edition of 30 Seconds to Mars.
The censored version.
Yep, thanks for listening, everyone. I'm Michael McCall. You can find me on Twitter at AFTN Canada. Find our co-host Steve Pander on Twitter at Whitecaps Beat. Read all our stuff on aftn.ca. We'll be back soon with a couple more special podcasts to get you ramped up for the season ahead. So until next time, thanks for listening, take care, and on the Caps!
When you're listening in some far-flung corner of the globe to the World Service of a Saturday afternoon, crackly reception, interference, cosy, marvellous. Somehow comforting, isn't it? Legendary names, fathers and sons, on the terraces, cheesy peas at half-time, pint for dad, mum's at home making the tea. Everything's all right with the world, isn't it? Saturday afternoon is football.
10 minutes left. Yeah,